What's up, guys? It's Deflay. Today, we're going to be talking about deloads. Why do we need them? How do we do them? And when should we program them? So, first thing to know is what a deload actually is. So, a deload is when we dramatically drop down the volume, whether it's weight, reps, sets, total amount of exercise that we do, total amount of days we go to the gym, and when we do those, okay? So normally what we do is institute a deload for a 1 week, 2 at the absolute most. For some people, maybe coming off a competition, but for most people, it's gonna be 1 week. So why do we do this? It's really simple, particularly for strength training, but also just for getting muscle size. Eventually, all the volume that we do catches up with our joints, our ligaments, our tendons, and of course our central nervous system, what actually causes those muscles to contract. The human body is very good at building muscle, and because of that, the muscle growth can outpace everything else. So that's the main reason. Particularly also if we're on some super supplements, as we'll call them, deloads become even more necessary because our muscle growth is enhanced by so much. So that is the main reason why we do. We give everything else a chance to catch back up that muscles, so therefore then we can go back after a week and start ramping up the volume again until we can no longer handle all that extra weight, all those extra reps and sets, and then we deload again. So that's the main reason why we do this. So how do we go about doing this? For me personally, going into like powerlifting, the easiest way I do that is massively reducing the weight. So typically for me, what this looks like is 60% of my 1 rep max on my big lifts. So on my squat is, 440, I will do, 60% of that for my working weight, and that'll be for like maybe 2 sets of 5. Just something to just practice the technique and not generate any more fatigue, because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get our fatigue way down while keeping ourselves still ready to get back at it. Now, deloading is very different from just taking a week off of the gym. A week off the gym would be not going at all, not doing anything related to that stuff. While deloading is still going to the gym, but just massively reducing the weight, but still keeping our technique and everything crisp. For anyone that's really gotten into lifting weights, they know that technique is everything, and lifts become exponentially harder if you're doing your technique wrong. Particularly for major compound movements like squatting, deadlifting, benching, overhead press, all those things. So we want to keep our technique crisp. And that's what this does. It's going to keep you ready for that way. As soon as your deload is over, you're ready to get back in the gym, technique and everything is still crisp. And because you're still moving through those movement patterns and everything, it's actually going to get blood into those areas more. And I've noticed, me personally, and I do think there's something to this. It's just anecdotal, but I do think there's something to this. This actually helps you recover faster by deloading versus just taking a whole week off of the gym. I do think there's something to that. So what I would recommend mostly is massively reducing the percentage of weight that we're working with. A really easy way to do that is, again, just using 50-60% of our 1 rep max, very light weights, still getting our technique though right. So we've got why we should do it, how we should do it, and lastly is when. It's very simple. Whenever we start a training block, we start with a set amount of volume. That's our minimum effective volume for growth. And then in the coming weeks, for me it's 3 weeks, for some people it might be 4 weeks, 5 weeks, really just depends. But for me it's every 4th week I deload. We ramp up the volume slowly but surely until eventually we get here and we can no longer recover from that amount of volume. Once we do that, that's when we shut it down, and then we go into a deload. But if you're not getting to a point where you can't recover from volume, 1, you're probably not doing enough volume. 2, you don't need to deload. But if you're coming into the gym, let's say you deadlifted last week, you're coming into the gym 7 days later, you're still not recovered from a deadlift session. 1, you're under recovering, you need to be looking at some of that. But it could be a matter of you just simply need to deload. If you're coming in and the weights are feeling heavier than they normally should, you're not able to do as many reps or as much weight, as many sets, it could mean that you're in need of a deload. Me personally, every 4th week I deload. Every 4th week, right before my deload, I max out on lifts, so then I go into a week deload, and then I'm ready to go into another training block. And that has kept my progress going really smoothly. This also is gonna be protective. This is gonna keep your joints and everything healthier. It's gonna protect those tendons and ligaments, all that connective tissue, and hopefully help prevent any possible injuries. So that is why you guys might need to deload. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe for more content, and have a great rest of your day.